Today on Unpacked, we are going to check out a new packaging update. But is it going to be bland or spicy? With that overdramatic intro out of the way, let's take a look at a little packaging update from McCormick's spices. So apparently this is the first packaging update they have done in 40 years. That's right, the big 4-0. So we have this old jar, which is a PET container that has a paper wrap label. It's got an interesting die cut to it, so you can kind of see some of the spice here in the front. And then we kind of have this what we now would consider like traditional flip top lid. It didn't do the little snap thing. Let's see here. Yeah. Flip top lid with an induction seal underneath here. This is basically similar, if not the same jar. I guess they are using post-consumer recycled content, 50% in the package. I think it's the bottles. And then we've got this new style fashionable lid on there. And right out of the gate, you can kind of tell it's more of a matte, satiny finish, matte around the outside. It's kind of still gloss on the top. It's got a little bit of contour to it, super subtle. And they've introduced this kind of edge on here, where before we had this little cutout, this little notch in the front. This is gonna be hard to see. We now have this kind of contour to the lid, and it's got this TPE would be my guess, thermoplastic elastomer. It's a, kind of a rubberized overmold. So it's a 2-shot instead of like a single shot, which means instead of injecting plastic just into one mold, typically they inject the plastic and then the mold swings out and another side of the mold comes in where they inject plastic over the top of plastic. It's called an overmold. And that looks like what they've done here. A couple of interesting things that they have done is they've tried to brand this lid. They've created a little bit more of a snap. This is a little bit more of a positive snap to it. They're calling it the Snap Tight Lid. They've actually written it right here on the top. The other thing that they're doing that's interesting, they must be using a digital application to do this lidding, because they have the Best Buy printed right here on the top of the lid, as opposed to on the label. But it's also here on the label next to the UPC code. But I think the lid is really where they've focused on. So let's take a look here. It's really just, they've created this taller, more pronounced positive snap feature to get a little bit more of that. It's the same technique that they used before. Now again, it's more positive. Maybe they're getting a little bit better seal on it, but yeah. And then they've got this induction seal. Oh gosh. They have an induction seal under here that I don't know how to get to. Oh my gosh. Okay. I got the lid. Okay. I wound up just getting an error. This induction seal is pretty significantly oversized from the flange that it's on. You would typically have these little tabs here that are oversized, but the lid itself would be as close to the diameter of the closure of the neck as possible. This one is pretty significantly oversized, and when it was applied, there was a piece that came back, folded back on itself, and the adhesive layer, it's basically a plastic layer that melts when the heat is applied or induction current is applied, that actually melted this to the lid. So we had this melted to the bottle and then this melted to the lid, which prevented it from turning off. And thus I had to pry and fight that cap off. That's not how it was supposed to go. It was supposed to be a simple screw it and unscrew it. But little QC issue there. So anyways, I am curious to hear your comments below. Is this, what do you think this is doing? You've got a shelf impression, and what's that doing for shelf impression? And then this lid, you know, it's got this little rubberized edge on it. It's got a little bit more positive click to it. Yeah. Is this having the desired positive impact or uplift on the brand that they're hoping for? I'm curious to get all your impressions below. Always excited to see how brands are changing and adapting, you know, where they find value, where they place importance as a brand on their consumer. It's cool to see what McCormick's done here. I got a little bit of a freak of a package, but yeah, thanks for watching. Let us know in your comments below and what you think of this new update. Thanks for watching Unpacked.